Many of you have heard this subject for the first time, so let me take this opportunity to explain first what is expected from this subject. Uh, if we look at the content of the subject, it's not like that we are going to learn many new things, because we have already done costing, accounting, and few sort of topics in the financial management in the first and second semester. But in this, if I relate this all topic to the strategic cost management, guys, here we are aiming to solve the case studies with the help of whatever concepts we have learned. So our aim will be, uh, solving as much as case studies we are having. And we are very much aware that yes, in the upcoming, as we have to face exam, it will be MCQ, but the MCQs will be sort of small case studies only, right? So what we are going to do today, we are going to understand which topics we have to revisit again, and immediately we can start with solving the simple cases. We will definitely have a thought on how to work on it, which topics are applicable. So guys, let me remind you which topics you need to revisit again, which you have already done in the first and second semester. We will start definitely with the cost sheet. I hope you remember in the first semester only you have learned how to make cost sheets. Guys, do you remember where we used to add all the expenses in the particular format, and we have bifurcated cost sheet into the primary cost, then factory cost, then admin, then sales, and after adjustment of all stocks and all, we used to get the cost of sales. When the profit is added in the cost of sales, we get actual sales price. So yes, guys, this is a good time to revisit the cost sheet, because in most of the cases we have to calculate the targeted cost, under which the target costing we have learned. And for reaching at the target cost, we should aware about the contents of the cost sheet. So yes, there is a need to revisit the cost sheet. After cost sheet, we should know about the budgeting. If you remember, we have also done with the fixed budget, flexible budget, then cash budget, right? So yes, these cases which are based on strategic cost management. What do you mean by strategic cost management? It's about the costing, it's about the making decisions, and it's about the framing policies regarding the cost, regarding the overall gaining the profitability in the company. So yes, whatever we are discussing are the tools for which help, or we can say which help us for preparing the strategies for the company. So after the cost sheet and budgeting, then there is another topic which we should be aware of, that is variance analysis. In other words, we used to call it as a standard cost, where we have learned to calculate the material variance and the labor variance. Yes, variance analysis is very much important to remember. After variance analysis, you should know bits of marginal costing, then target costing, then lean management, then inventory analysis and cost. Or if you control in marginal costing, we have done a sort of PV ratio, then BEP, vagara, vagara. In target costing, again, there is kind of preparation of cost sheets based on the situation. Lean management speaks about achieving the target cost by managing the processes. Inventory analysis and cost speaks about the levels, the inventory levels. If you remember, guys, we used to calculate the inventory levels like minimum, maximum, and danger, vagara, vagara, vagara. Then eight, the important one is decision tree analysis. I hope you have learned this in the your subject डिसीजन साइंस इन डीएस में आपने ये सीखा होगा डिसीजन ट्री एनालिसिस which is very much important for framing the decisions, or it's a tool which helps us to frame the decision. And ninth topic is overall cost control. How we can go for cost control and how we can achieve the better results for the company, that matters a lot. So these nine subtopics we are going to use for solving the various case studies, which are very much helpful uh, while solving the problems for strategic cost management. Let me tell you guys, we have already done all of it, probably in semester 1, semester 2, or semester 3. But it's also very much important that we should know how to apply it. So the strategic cost management is more about the application than the learning new concept, because it is understood that we have already learned all this subject throughout the semester. So I would like to request you just write down all the topics which we are supposed to remember, and its application, so we can immediately start working on it. We will start solving the first caselet, which can be asked for 1 mark, 2 mark, or even 3 mark. But today itself, we will immediately start working on it. So first of all, please write down what expected from you, which topics you should revisit again. Yes, guys. And let me know once you are done.
Done, ma'am.
Done? Okay, let's move ahead then. Let's start with a very simple cases. Very simple case. How we are expected to evaluate or to apply whatever we have learned. Now, there is a small case to solve the decision tree analysis. See the expansion of business unit. Now we are going for the expansion of business unit, and being say manager of the company, we need to analyze the impact of expansion on the business. So basically, when we are taking any decision, there will be always involvement of probability of success or probability of failure, right? Because it's not that when we are going for the expansion, definitely we will get the 100% success. So being a finance student, being a manager, we should be able to understand the probability. And this is a thumb rule that the sum of all the probability will be 1. Because when you are going for expansion, there will be either profit, you will earn profit for the business, that is you will be successful, or you will get the losses. So the percentage, probably in some case it's 80%, then the chances of losses will be 20%, but the sum of the all probabilities will be 100%. That is, if we convert it into the point, that is 0.8 and 0.2, so the sum should be always 1. This is, a thumb rule when we apply the probability analysis. Yes, we should have the basic understanding over here of probability as well. I guess we have learned the probability in 8th standard itself, right? So yes, it's the basic understanding about probability is necessary. Now, when we are going for the expansion of business unit, here we are having two probabilities, that 40% probability that the market share will hike and increasing the overall profitability of the company by around 25 lakhs. So yes, 40%, our 40% results are showing that definitely will go for the profits, and the profit level will increase by the 25 lakhs. But the major part, which is 60%, says that competitors would take over the market share and the company may incur loss of 80 lakhs. See guys, जैसे हम expansion कर रहे हैं, as we are forecasting that there is a good opportunity for the company in the market. Definitely, simultaneously, competitor is also looking at the market, right? And probably कई बार ऐसा होता है कि you and your competitor launch the same things, and you just fight over it for the capturing the market share. See guys, if I give you the latest example, that is Byju's and Topper. Basically, both are giving the same services for so many years, and though Toppers, uh, uh, the performance is really better, but being a big fish, the rest is the story. Byju's has purchased the Topper. So this may happen for so many reasons when you are working in the same sector, that even in the phase of expansion, actually Topper was in the phase of expansion. It has a very much scope for improvement, and it was definitely had the good amount of market share, but now it has been taken over by its own competitor, that is Byju's. So now it's about the taking decision, or what will be the impact of taking decision. So here the decision tree, whatever we have learned in the decision science, will help us. So basically, what is the question? The question in the caselet is the expansion of business unit. So here I am putting the question as it is. So we are talking about the expansion of business unit, which are showing us two outcomes. And what are the two outcomes? The two outcomes are either we will increase the profit, or we can incur the loss, right? There are two outcomes. And how much level of profit is over there we are expecting. If at all there is an increase in the profit, we will get roughly increase by 25 lakhs. And if we incur loss, the loss will be of how much? It's 80 lakhs or 8 lakhs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 80 lakhs. Okay. Eight lakhs. But here we cannot just add profit and loss as it is and we say, okay, the average is we can have the profit of 17 lakhs, because here comes the role of probability, chance of occurring that event. Probability. Yes, probability is called as chance of occurring, chances of occurring. So chances of occurring profit is 40%, while the chances of occurring loss is 60%. So finally, how we can make the decision? We need to multiply this chance of occurring profit to the actual profit. And same way, we will multiply for the loss as well. And when we are adding both, that is 40% are saying there will be the profit, so the value of the profit could be 10 lakhs, and 60% are saying loss, so the value of loss will be 4.80 lakhs, as 40% are not saying that there will be the loss. So in all, if we look at the decision of expansion, we will incur the profit of 5,20,000, which is not the current profit, which is the increase in profit. So even if we consider that there will be loss, still we as a company, we may we will succeed in increasing the profit by 5,20,000. So guys, this was the case which was asked for only 1 mark in the problem as a part of MCQ. And here we have applied the concept of decision tree analysis and the probability to understand whether we will go for the expansion or not. So here I can safely say, by applying the probability analysis, it is understood company can increase the profit by rupees 5.2 lakhs even after considering both scenarios of profit and loss. Therefore, it will be worth for a company to go for expansion. So guys, this is how we need to solve the strategic cost management. In the normal era, we used to have the caselets of 10 marks. 5 cases used to be there, but now we are expecting the MCQs. So we are going to practice it in that manner only. And strategic cost management is more about the solving the case studies, because here we are not learning anything new. As I discussed previously, we have learned all these topics in the first and second semester only. It's just a revision of that topic. So basically you are into the very safe hands कि आपको नया कुछ सीखना नहीं है. You have to just apply it, and this gives you a lot of opportunity to score highest. Yes, this subject gives you the opportunity to score 10 on 10 marks. So please appear for classes, and let's solve a number of cases together. And yes, let's go for 10 on 10 marks. Guys, I would like to request you, please write down this case and then we'll go for the next case as well. And once you are done, okay, what I'll do, I will send this Excel sheet to you. So don't write it, but if you have understood the case, then solve this in your notebook right now. Yes, solve this. For case number 1, I'll definitely give you the Excel sheet. Don't worry about that. Let me know once you are done with the solving. Yes, guys, are you done with the solving? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is the answer?
is 5 lakh with the project would successfully yield.
Okay. What about others? Now let's solve the another case. Slightly big, but definitely it will help us to solve the MCQs also, because this makes your foundation very much strong. Okay, so shall we read the next case, guys?
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am.
Okay. Sure. Your company is considering whether it should tender for two contracts, and the name of the contract is MS1 and MS2. An offer from government department for the supply of certain components. The company has three options. See, when you are having two contracts, definitely either you can go for MS1, or you can go for MS2, or you can go for both. So when you are solving any caselet or any case study, guys, I always suggest everyone, even if you look at my video on the YouTube, where I have spoken about how to solve the case study, when you are reading even for the first time, you should start making the notes. And how you can start making note from the first three line itself, I have understood this has something has to do with the application for the contracts. So here I will write the problem like application of, not of, for contracts. And again I understood that uh, there is a probability that either we can go for MS1, or we can go for MS2, or we can go for book. So let's write it. The one, then we can go for second either, or we can go for third. So I'm drawing three arrows over here, that for MS1, the second probability only applying for MS2, and the third is application for MS1 and MS2 both. If the tenders are to be submitted, the company will incur additional costs. These costs will have to be entirely recouped from the contract price. The risk of the course is that if a tender is unsuccessful, the company have made a loss. The cost of tendering for contract MS1 is 50,000 pound or euros, now we can say. The component supply cost, if the tender is successful, would be 18,000. Now they have started talking about the cost of application. And cost of application even also are having two parts. That is, first one is cost of tendering, and the second one is the supply cost, component supply cost. The first one is cost of tendering, which is 50,000, and the second one is a supply cost, which is how much it is? Which is 18,000. So in case if we only apply for MS1, the total cost of tender will go up to the 68 euros, right? So this information I have learned from the first two lines. Then the cost of tendering for on contract MS2 only is 14,000, and the supply cost of components is 12,000. So again, here I will write it as cost of tendering is 14,000. I guess MS2 is little bit cheaper as compared to the MS1. So overall, the cost of participating for the contract is 26,000. And if we decide, if at all we decide to go for, both the contract, the cost of tendering for the both contract is 55,000 and the supply cost is 24,000 euros. So now before us, we are having the cost, or you can say the total cost for the both contracts. Okay. So up to this information, we come to know that what will be the cost of application for the contracts, the government contract. Guys, I'm sure that while working in the companies, as most of you are in fourth semester, so most of you are working. So definitely you have to deal with such situations on the daily basis, and where you can use this kind of uh, tools for solving day-to-day problems. So here up to we are done with the information. Now for each contract, the possible prices have been determined. What amount we can recover from the contract. But while dealing with the price, again, there will be the probability. Okay. And what is the probability? What is the information is given? If we only think about the MS1, 80% probability is there that we will get the selling price as 1,15,000, but 20% is recovery will be only of 1,30,000. Same way with the MS2. And if you look at the MS2 also, guys, 80% are saying 65,000 will be recovered. 15% are of opinion that 70,000 will be recovered, and while 5% are saying 60,000 will be recovered. So now, if we follow this, we need to decide whether we should go for MS1 or MS2 or only for MS3. And how we can decide? There is a simple form of cost sheet that we need to calculate the profitability from each option. And to calculate the profitability, we need to work on the selling price. And here we are having information of price along with the probability for each and every contract. So let's go for it. Let's calculate the selling price. Here, the probability information is given. There are two probabilities. So final selling price, let's calculate the final selling. How much money we will get is 1,30,000 into 0.2 plus 1,15,000 into 0.8. So here we can get 1,18,000 from if we only apply for the MS1. But this is not sufficient. In the FM as well, we have calculated the NP ratio. That is the net profit ratio. And the formula for the net profit is net profit divided by sales. Right? Because it's not matter only when how much sales are there, whether the sales value is bigger or not, but NP, the net profit ratio, actually gives you the idea that what is the quantum of profit you are earning by doing the activity. So let's calculate the net profit as well. That is the selling price minus the cost. And the net profit, of course, profit divided by the selling price. Here we come to know that, okay, the net profit will be 42%. Now, if we go for only MS2, again, we need to apply the probability which is given for MS2. In case of MS2, we are having the three probabilities. So now this is time to calculate the final selling price, that is price into probability plus price into the second probability and the expected third price into the third probability, which is giving us that yes, we can earn 65,500 as a sell, and the profit will be 39,500. Let's calculate the net profit as well. That is 39,500 divided by 65,000. And guys, you can have a look that the NP ratio is higher for MS2 as compared to the MS1. Now, let's also apply the same for if we go for the both options, if we are opting for both tenders. And what can we do? So the final selling price we may have for the third option is 1,42,500, and how much profit we will have out of it? That is 63,500. So what will be the net profit ratio in the third case of option is 44%. So guys, if we look at now the decision tree analysis, if we only consider the fact that maximum net profit ratio is matter for us. So according to you guys, now all the situation are well explained before you. And if we are making decision only on base of the profitability, that is a net profit ratio, which contract you will select? Yes, it will be MS2 because MS2 is clearly giving you the idea that it is having the higher capacity to earn profit as compared to the efforts, as compared to the time involved while completing the all the contracts. But let's go for another question as well. Here, a consultant has approached your company with an offer that in return 20,000 euros in cash, she will ensure that if you tender uh, 60,000 euros for contract MS2, only your tender is guaranteed to be successful. And should you accept offer or not? There is, as you understand, the MS2 is most profitable. If we go by the pricing, you will not be the only person who will approach for MS2. So your consultant is offering that if you keep the selling price, if you keep the selling price of the MS2 60,000, and if you pay 20,000 cash to the consultant, it will give you the 100% assurity that you will get the contract. So if we go by the consultant's view, again in MS2 we are having the different view whether to appoint a consultant or not. The total cost will remain same. There is no change in the total cost. But there will be the additional cost, that is fees to the consultant, which are amounting to 20,000. So the final cost after the fees will be 26,000 plus 20,000, that comes to the 46,000. And she or he has advised us to take selling price down to 60,000 euros, right? So the final selling price suggested by the consultant is 60,000. So the net profit, let's calculate again the profit and the net profit. देखो भाई, हमने डिसीजन ट्री से तो ये पता चला हमें कि we should go for MS2, but उसमें भी उन्होंने twist डाल दिया that we can whether we can have the assurity, because when we will appoint a consultant, there is a 100% assurity that we will get this contract. So the final profit is about 14%, and if we calculate the net profit ratio, the net profit will become to the 23%. So now guys, what you will do, whether you will appoint the consultant or you are ready to take the risk of the strong strong position from your competitor, what you will do, because your profit will decline. I'll write it here as a decline in profit. Your profit will straight away decline from 60% to 23% if you appoint the new consultant. The consultant is eating the profit of around 37%, but he or she is also giving you the guarantee that yes, you will get this contract. And if you do not appoint a consultant, there is no guarantee that you will earn 60% profit for them, or even you will get the contract at all. So guys, what you will do in this case, this is very interesting case. Yeah, I'm looking forward to you. And it's not about good and bad or correct and wrong. It's all about your perspective, how you look at the business. Okay, let me put it into the simple way. In the case of crisis, when the people are not getting any tender, what you will do?
Will appoint consultant, ma'am.
In that case, we will go for definitely the consultant view. So guys, this is about the, I have just given you the idea how we are going to enjoy this subject. In fact, this is most of the interesting and my favorite topic, which I love to teach, because this topic helped me to give you the clear idea of how we are supposed to apply our knowledge. Okay. So guys, I would like to request you to please write down this answer, but I'm not going to show you the answer right now. I'm going to share the Excel sheet with you, so you can compare whether you have learned the decision tree analysis and the impact of costing together. So I would like to request you, we have just 5 to 6 minutes in hand. Please try to solve it, and definitely I'm going to share this worksheet with you. And tomorrow, tomorrow we are going to start with the risk management, Sunday. On Sunday, again, we will start solving the new cases which are related to the strategic management. Yes, guys, are you able to solve it on your own? Because this is just a beginning. We need to solve many cases for this topic. And I hope you are enjoying this practical application. Hello? Hello, guys. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, guys, are you done with the solving? Hello? Or still doing? Hello guys, are you done? What I'll do, I'll share this Excel sheet having all the solution for the cases which we are solving in the uh, you know in the classroom. Or if it is more easy, I'll take your email addresses and I will share the Google Sheet with you. So simultaneously, when we are solving in the classroom, you will get the updated Excel sheet at your end. So guys, are you having the Gmail address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll take it from Ajyotikar ma'am, and it's always better that if we do it on the Google sheet, so automatically you will have it as soon as we are done with the classroom session. So now and then बार बार share नहीं करना पड़ेगा WhatsApp पे. So is it sound logical to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just you need to remember, guys, you need to download that Excel sheet or the Word file, whatever I will share with you once we are done with all the lectures. Otherwise, आप भूल जाओगे कि कहाँ solve किया था, क्या solve किया था. सिर्फ आपको वो download करके रखनी है. On this note, I am concluding today's session. Tomorrow we will meet at the same time for understanding the risk, and the way of teaching will be different. As for first few sessions, it will be based on the presentations, and I'm going to use the PPT for it. And again on Sunday, we are having both the sessions of strategic management and risk management. So let's meet tomorrow at 7 o'clock again. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you for joining the lecture. And yes, I'm definitely aware that it's very hard to wake up at 7 o'clock after working for 12 to 13 hours. So I really appreciate all. And definitely I'm looking forward to make it more interesting and, more informative for you guys. So thank you, and thank you for your cooperation. I'm actually looking for your cooperation from your end by continuing the same kind of attendance. Though we are having only 12 people, just talk in your friends group and be there, learn more things. Thank you. Bye-bye.